Creative entrepreneurship. This is the key to designing better futures. In his DNA, automobile building plays a big role. It's part of his family. But he has transformed his entrepreneurial spirit to embrace very different dimensions, from fashion to sports, from the automobile revisited down to humanitarian initiatives. In his work, passion meets business, and love becomes a working philosophy. It's not possible to describe this person, who someone described as, quite charmingly, the most elegant man on the planet. And that wasn't me, it was Anna Wintour. But I know his heart beats like that of a racing car. With us tonight, or this evening, from Milan, Lapo, Elkann. Ciao Lapo, good to see you.
Oh, it is an honor to be with you on this, talk. I want to thank you first and foremost. You are a true friend and an amazing friend and an amazing human being. I want to thank all the people who are there. I'm sorry not to be with all of you in Berlin, but I'm very happy to be with you from the headquarters of Garage Italia here in Milan, talking with you, Paolo, which I consider you a dear and very precious friend.
Thank you very much, Lapo. Just talking of the core of mobility, for me it's the automobile. I mean, of course, cars played a dominant role, even in your education, I would say. Can you explain to us what cars mean to you personally?
Cars for me mean what I'm going to be doing with you shortly, and I'm going to put pressure on you and I, which means love. It means emotion, it means passion, it means creation. It means, I'm a petrol head, an electric head. I have a Ferrarite, as I would so call. So car is my primary love. It is something that I cherish and hold within my heart. And it comes also within my blood and within my soul. So it's something very dear and very precious to me. And it's something which I had the privilege to talk with you about. And we're actually building together, and I will say so, a book which is Love Cars, because in a moment where there's a lot of people who are getting disenthused by cars, I believe that there's also a lot of people who are getting enthusiasmed by cars and are re-falling in love with cars. And cars is something that you cannot not love. There's nothing better than motion, and I believe that by being a creative soul, I'm always in motion, which is while I work on cars, while I work on design, while I work on furniture, while I work with my foundation in terms of solidarity, helping and supporting, people in need. It's all about motion and emotion and passion, as you said. And those are ingredients which are key for the motion industry, for the automotive industry, and are key for successful living for us all, I do believe.
I'm glad you talked about that. Maybe not everybody knows that you are the mastermind behind one of the most successful new car projects of the last years, the Fiat Cinquecento. And the Fiat Cinquecento, I believe, was supported by the love thing. Is emotion really what makes us want to have those cars? Do you think that's the key?
I would say that the beauty of the project of Cinquecento is it started really as a love brand in a very critical moment, in a very difficult moment. And together with Roberto Giolito and others, we really wanted to re-give birth to an icon that all of us in the automotive industry love and dearly, respect. And when we see it, it gives a glimpse and a big smile on our face, which is the Cinquecento. The Cinquecento is an icon which has represented and represents Italy all over the world. And in very difficult times of, at the time, Fiat Auto, which wasn't yet Fiat Chrysler, we, really worked extremely hard to bring it back within the world of automotive with passion, with love, with care, with determination, and bringing all of the aroma, the strength, and all the ingredients that we Italians know how to best bring to life within a car, respecting, how do you say, the tradition, but blending it with the future and giving it, how do you say, a flavor, which today you can see in all the roads around the world, from the 500, how do you say, Abarth, from the normal 500, from the 500 electric who just came out, from the 500 red who will come out at the end of this month, and many others. And Cinquecento has always been the love of my life and still is. And I have it everywhere. The back of my bed is a Cinquecento. Cinquecento is the car which I drive with more pleasure and more passion. Cinquecento is, how do you say, the icon of Garage Italia, with the project Icon E, where we did the 500 Spiaggina. So I would say that Cinquecento is really, how do you say, what makes beat my heart, and is a pride of Italy, and it's an Italian jewel, which represents at its best Italy within the world of automotive and all around the world. And it's an object, an Italian global object, who, how do you say, blends sympathy, creativity, beauty, and at the same time, efficiency and quality and creativity and love. And it is a love brand. I wouldn't define it a car, but it's a love car, a love brand, and it's a car in which many of us gave our first kiss or made first time love. So it is a car which is the quintessential of love.
Well, this really was a love declaration. Still, also, we must remember that Cinquecento is now, I believe, almost 15 years on the market. I mean, it's a very timeless product, which means that the love is unbroken. But it was the beginning of your career, and we could say this was the good old way to do cars. You've moved over after working for your family's company to found Garage Italia, basically redesigning the way to design cars, first customizing and then entering new dimensions. I think you called it ERest Mods. Can you explain how you see the new business of making cars, perhaps as opposed to the original ones? What is the reason?
I would say from 10 years ago to today, with Garage Italia, the first thing I started was creating Ferrari tailor-made and Ferrari one-off projects for Ferrari. Then I started Garage Italia. Why so? Because I do believe that everyone wants uniqueness. So we started with personalization, working on, how do you say, air, sea, and road, so plane, cars, and boats. And we developed a lot of projects around automotive with different brands and automakers like BMW, Mercedes, Fiat, Ferrari, Maserati, and many more. And around that also, how do you say, we created all the content to create a world around the products, which is key, because today is not enough to do beautiful projects and beautiful products. You need to, how do you say, bring a way of life to the products that you bring within this world, and they need all to make a statement, a positive statement, a constructive statement. And we created, how do you say, Project Icon E, which is for us a project of ERest Mod. At the moment, we're working on Cinquecento Spiaggina and Panda, how do you say, 4x4. But there's many more projects in pipeline. We're also working on, besides electrification of vintage cars as the Spiaggina and the Panda 4x4, we're working, how do you say, on hybridization for cars. With our partner, which is so-called Neutron, and we have also other partners with whom we are, how do you say, we presented a prototype of a 500 Spiaggina with Pininfarina a few years ago, and we are in talks to do furthermore both on electrification and iconic car models, Italians and non. And at the same time, we're also working and thinking with Pininfarina how to best bring out new projects and new product together on electrification, hybridization, on icons from the Italian automakers of the past. Because I do believe that the past has a future, and it's by giving a new heart to the past through electrification and hybridization that we can give a new life, how do you say, to historical products. And this is what we try to do within Garage Italia every day, with love, with passion, with care, putting in the primary seat our customer, whichever he might be, to make his dreams come true. Because what is our objective is to make the dreams of our customer come true. If the customer is a client, Mr. Pierre Picot, more so than, how do you say, BMW, more so than Mercedes, more so than Fiat, more so than whichever automaker, plane maker, or boat maker in the world, you know. And we work with many brands, how do you say, as you know, Paolo, in the automotive industry and none.
Well, I think there was a very important shift, like you mentioned, the original work for Garage Italia, and I remember the Bentleys bespoke you did, the Ferrari, of course, and this was the origin. Now, you mentioned Spiaggina and Panda Integrale, and I very much appreciate the fact that you obviously shifted towards small cars, the one more playful perhaps, the other one certainly practical. It was just named by Clemens Weissar, another designer we talked to, as one of the example of a radically interesting car vehicle. So do you see a quality in the small car? And what is the role of small car actually in society?
I believe that small cars are the key for a better urban future. I believe that they are also the key, how do you say, in cities like Rome, like Florence, cities with historical sites, small cars are the key, like electrification and hybridization is the key. But I believe that the dream of Lapo is to work on a small car which is ecumenic, which is a car which brings love, and which is a car that in a certain way is for everyone, and is, how do you say, for everyone, but in a way which is beautiful, which is glamorous, which is loving, which is caring, which is efficient, and which displays the comfort, how do you say, and also the serenity within its abitacolo, within, how do you say, itself, for people also to feel protected by the world and to feel, how do you say, the opportunity to release and distress from, how do you say, the pace and the speed of life, which today is, how do you say, too fast. And the car is an oasis of peace, an oasis of love, and an oasis, how do you say, of serenity. And I believe that today, small is cool and small rules, you know what I mean? So small cars are, how do you say, the future. And within one of my dreams, I would love within the future to think and build a democratic car for everybody and at a price achievable for everybody. But within the DNA of it, how do you say, blending always love, passion, creativity, and at the same time, how do you say, what I said is a Zen energy within it to give, how do you say, the opportunity for people to relax going from the office to home, to relax when they drive their children, to relax when they go to the football stadium. I believe that small cars are, how do you say, fundamental.
Yeah. You mentioned Resto Mods, and I'm not sure that everybody who's listening us now understands exactly what Resto Mod means, and now actually we are more talking about ERest Mod, so upcycling old cars with combustion engines, fitting electronic and electric technology in them. Can you elaborate a little bit of that, perhaps even explaining how do you build an electric Resto Mod?
So I absolutely can. So we work on Project Icon E, which is a Resto Mod where we work on electrification, and we're working also on projects connected to hybridization. But at the same time, Resto Mod is rebringing back to life vintage cars within, how do you say, a new DNA, which is uplifting them with all the technologies, all the qualities, all the amenities, and all the desires towards the customers of today, but respecting the tradition of yesterday and respecting what was, how do you say, the style of the car of yesterday, but embellishing it for the world of today and for the roads of today and for the customers of today. putting within them the technology, the quality, the beauty, and the efficiency, which maybe in the 70s, in the 60s, or in the 80s were not as updated as they are today. And doing all of this with respect, with care, towards what is the past, not diminishing and not disrespecting the past, because the past is, iconic, and we need to always remember that and respect that. So it's with tremendous respect that we work on ERest Mod, and we showed, that soon we're working, on Japanese cars, we have worked on Italian cars, and we're looking at German cars at the moment to work on ERest Mod, and we are in talks with automotive car brands for that. So it's, one of the areas which Garage Italia will be focusing itself a lot on.
You've been using nice words even before, speaking of an ecumenic car and a democratic car. And those who follow what you do really, every day, even with the Labs Foundation, you are really close to the people, the real people, On the other side, you also represent an industrialist family and an interest in one of the largest car-making groups, the big boys, in a way. How do you feel the balance between these two realities? Do you think that independent manufacturers, new smaller companies really can be the future of automobile making? A new craftsmanship? Do you see them living together, or do you see a fight?
I do not see a fight. I see an amazing opportunity within the auto market. And I believe that in the auto market, in between, 20,000 to 300,000 is a huge space to take. And we with Garage Italia want to take that space and want to be part of that space, because it's a space which is not leveraged or poorly leveraged. And we're working very strongly and with huge determination in that area. I would say that I'm extremely proud and honored to be part of the legacy of the family which I belong to, and I am extremely proud to have worked within the company that is part of the legacy of my family, and to have worked in it in the hardest moment of its history, and to have had the opportunity to work with amazing people from the automotive industry to relaunch it. But I'm today even more proud, to have the opportunity to build a future with an independent, company, giving birth to products which are unique, which are, personalizable to each and every customer, the way they want and the way they dream about. And I believe that independence is, an area which is going to grow far more than what we imagine, and these far more independent manufacturers who are coming in the market in Europe, in China, in America, and in other areas around the world. And I do believe that there's an opportunity for that, there's, market for that, and there's a growing market for that. And I will be focusing my attention and my focus with Garage Italia on the market in between 20,000 to 300,000 in that area, because I believe that that area is less looked at than from 250,000 up. And it's an area which I love, and it's an area which I believe has a humongous potential of growth.
Now I want to try and move over to what can even a small business learn from other businesses. We know of the garage businesses where, the mechanics make the car. This was the past. Now, Garage Italia isn't even a workshop in a way. It's more an idea generator. And of course, there's creativity that goes all through the dimensions of the car, even how it looks and feels inside, materials, the research about colors. There's a lot of artistic content targeted, I don't know, can I say beauty perhaps? But what I want to say is you're at home in fashion with Italian Independent. You have a feeling for art. You're an ambassador of culture at large. what can the automobile business, what can the automobile making industry learn from other industries that are perhaps closer to the taste of people, to the feelings of people, to what people like and love, instead of just use?
So I would say that first and foremost, the automotive industry is a very noble industry, and is an industry who has, how do you say, a lot within its DNA and within its history. What I do believe is that I'm a car lover, and I am part of the people who love cars. What I believe is that people like me and people, how do you say, who work in this industry, with our teams, what we need to do and what is the objective most important to do is to make people fall in love with automotive, because automotive has, how do you say, lost a little bit of glimpse in certain areas and gaps of age, and we need to reconquer them. And this is the objective that with Garage Italia and Young Timers we have, and it's also the objective that I have with you, Paolo, with the book that we're going to publish, because cars are love, cars are passion, cars are, how do you say, creativity. Cars are not only, how do you say, how they are pictured by many people, polluting, how do you say, and making our planet worse. Cars are also making our planet better. Cars have also, how do you say, allowed humanity to go on holidays, allowed humanity to move, allowed humanity, how do you say, to go from one place to another. So I would say that we need to reframe cars in the world of today, and we bring love and passion within the cars that we develop, and we bring, how do you say, the verve, the energy of the past, translating it in the future of today, with a much more body language, with a much more love brand language, and with a much more friendly language than we are at the moment. Because within the industry, very often we tend to be cold, and we tend to be non-emotional, and we tend, how do you say, to be, how do you say, very industrial and very complicated. And people want simplification. People want, how do you say, accessibility. People want facilitation. So it's within our role, within our moral role, of working within this industry to make this happen, and to make this happen together. So I do believe that more united we are, automakers, how do you say, independent car creators, independent car generators, more we work hand in hand, and more we work as a team together, easier this will happen, and sooner this love will come back for, how do you say, individuals who no longer love the automotive world. And I believe this is very important. And it is something which is our duty and our call to action, all people who work in automaking and in car making.
These are very beautiful words, especially because you give the car not only a look, but also a soul in a way. So you reestablish, I believe, the relationship. And it's not only, I think, the people who buy and use the car, but also the people who make the cars. I mean, in a way, the car has become less and less human, bit too big. And also if you look around, all cars are black, or at least 50 shades of gray. They have become aggressive. And what Garage Italia has taught again with their propositions were colors, 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 inside out, bringing life and soul and spirit back to the car. I want to try and bring that to a more mundane dimension, taste. What do you see the role of a company like Garage Italia and others to generate a new taste for the automobile, so to bring us back to love these cars and interact with them, even in terms of fashion, of attitude, making them represent us more, as compared to the black Mercedes or the gray Audi?
With all the respect for the black Mercedes and the gray Audi, or whichever gray car, I do believe that the objective of Garage Italia, as others, independent manufacturers or creators. It is, at least for what is our perspective as a team within Garage Italia, is to bring novelty, to bring, how do you say, purity, to bring clarity, to bring colors, to bring innovation, and to take, how do you say, calculated risks, looking towards the future, and looking towards the future, how do you say, in a different way than big car manufacturers do, because they have, how do you say, industrial processes who make things very complicated, how do you say, in terms of creation, while we independent have the opportunity of, how do you say, trying, leveraging, how do you say, the mix of different industries, putting them one with the other to work hand in hand, as you said, fashion, as you said, design, as you have said, style, as you said, arts, as you said, coloring, trimming, as you said, and this is something that is within the DNA of Garage Italia and within the DNA of all the team that works in Garage Italia, which means we create special colors and bespoke colors for our own clients. We can create special materials and applications for our own customers, customers being Paolo Tumminelli or being Mercedes or BMW or any other auto car maker. And this is very important to the core and the DNA of Garage Italia in each and every project that we deploy and deliver in the automotive industry and non-automotive industry. It is our focus to always bring something new, something innovative, but something who has a meaning and a purpose, because the key is not to innovate just to innovate, but it's innovating with meaning and purpose, and always thinking about others, always thinking about something that will make the life of others more useful, more, how do you say, I would say more practical for their day-to-day life, and also more unique, and will, how do you say, embellish whichever car they will be driving, and will make them feel, how do you say, proud and joyful of being within the car that they live in and they drive every day.
Lapo, I think these were the most beautiful words to end our conversation, which also could last forever or for hours at least. It's a beautiful projection of a future in which everybody will have a stake, the small and the big ones. I can even say perhaps the poor and the rich ones, because you don't want to exclude anybody. I mean, I know you drive fine cars, and that market should stay as the market for smaller cars should stay. We have, I believe, we have a positive view of an automobile future, and you purvey this meaning of love and positiveness, which is very, very charming. So let me thank you for having been with us today, and looking forward to see the news by Garage Italia and hear more of yourself anytime soon.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank everyone within Shift for the opportunity that you gave me today. It is an honor, a true honor for me, and a great pleasure. And next time, I am longing to come to Berlin, and I apologize for not being there with you, but I'm there with you with my heart and with my soul. I'm extremely grateful. Paolo, I love you, and I'm longing to start writing the next chapters of the book on love cars together. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now I say ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much too for listening. I think we are through. My drive has come to its destination. I hope it was an inspiring journey. For me, it was a pleasure to meet people that can contribute and will contribute to the future of the automobile. We don't really know exactly what's going to happen, but the automobile is going to be there, is going to stay. Whatever comes, multimodality, electric bicycles, I think who's for mobility shouldn't be against any means of mobility, but we shouldn't forget 4,500 years of automobiles, and we do hope it's going to last. And now, last word for Lara. Thank you very much for hosting me. Back to you.
Paolo Tumminelli, design professor and CEO of Goodbrands. Very good to have you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Well, that marks the end of day one of SHIFTx 2021. A big thank you to our guests and our viewers. We hope you enjoyed hearing about the future of mobility. Tomorrow on day two, we're going to continue the discussion about design in mobility as well as data-driven mobility. Looking forward to it. I'll see you then.